Have you ever wondered what would happen if the ancient Greek gods were alive today walking among us? I mean, really think about it. Mount Olympus traded for a penthouse suite in Dubai, and ambrosia swapped for artisanal coffee. It sounds wild, right? Well, let's dive into this chaotic modern-day Olympian saga. First up, the big man himself, Zeus, king of the gods, master of thunder and lightning. In today's world, he wouldn't be hurling lightning bolts from a mountaintop. No, he'd be the CEO of a massive global energy corporation, probably called something like Olympus Power and Light. He'd be a charismatic, albeit ruthless, billionaire with a notorious reputation. His temper tantrums wouldn't cause storms, but they'd crash the stock market. Instead of turning into a swan or a bull, his affairs would be scandalous headlines on tabloid websites and whispered about in elite social circles. His social media would be a carefully curated feed of him on private jets, at Davos, and giving TED Talks about harnessing your inner power, and his wife, the ever-watchful Hera. She'd be the chairwoman of the board, constantly monitoring his every move, maybe even hiring private investigators to track his business trips. She'd also run the world's most exclusive and intimidating charity for family values, a supreme irony that wouldn't be lost on anyone. Their family therapy sessions would be legendary. Now let's head down to the underworld, or as we might call it now, the subterranean sector. Hades wouldn't be a grim lord of the dead. He'd be a reclusive, eccentric tech mogul, the founder of a massive data mining and cryptocurrency empire. Think of him as a mix between a goth rock star and a Silicon Valley visionary. His realm wouldn't be filled with souls, but with servers, endless racks of data storing the digital ghosts of everyone online. He'd know all your secrets, not because he's a god, but because he owns your data. He'd probably dress exclusively in black designer clothes and be perpetually annoyed by his flashy brother Zeus showing off, his only companion. A three-headed cybernetic guard dog named Cerberus, protecting his servers from hackers. He wouldn't want souls. He'd want your Bitcoin. And what about Poseidon, brother to Zeus and Hades, ruler of the seas? Forget the trident. Modern Poseidon would be a rugged, sun-weathered environmental activist and surf legend. He'd have a massive following on Instagram. Posting epic videos of him riding monster waves and leading protests against ocean pollution. He'd probably have his own line of sustainable surf gear and a foundation dedicated to cleaning up the oceans. But don't get on his bad side. His earthquakes would be furious online campaigns that could bankrupt the company overnight. He'd be that cool, rebellious uncle in the family, always clashing with his corporate brother Zeus over environmental policies. He'd likely live in a solar-powered beach house in Malibu, driving an electric truck, and his mood swings would directly correlate with the tides. Let's move on to the next generation of gods, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. Today, she'd be a Nobel Prize-winning scientist, a Supreme Court justice, or the president of an Ivy League university. She'd be brilliant, strategic, and always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. She would have founded a dozen successful tech startups in her spare time, and would be a master debater who could dismantle any argument with cold, hard logic. Her social media would be full of insightful commentary on politics and science, and she'd have a podcast that's consistently at the top of the charts. She'd be a champion of education and innovation, but also a formidable strategist for the military, developing next-gen defense systems. No one would dare challenge her in a game of chess. Her rival and uncle, Ares, the god of war, he wouldn't be on the battlefield with a sword and shield. He'd be a 4-star general at the Pentagon, or maybe a private military contractor with a global network. He'd be the guy who loves the smell of jet fuel in the morning. Alternatively, he could be an MMA champion, a brutal and unstoppable fighter with a huge pay-per-view draw. He'd be all aggression and impulse, covered in tattoos telling the story of his battles, both in the octagon and out. He'd drive a ridiculous muscle car, listen to heavy metal, and his idea of a good time would be a bar fight. He and Athena would have epic arguments, not with swords, but in congressional hearings or through rival op-eds. And who could forget Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty? She'd be the ultimate influencer, a mega celebrity with hundreds of millions of followers. Her brand would be built on beauty, fashion, and luxury. She'd have her own cosmetics line, a reality TV show documenting her glamorous life, and a fragrance that's a global bestseller. But her power wouldn't just be in her looks. It would be in her ability to shape trends and desires. One post from her could make or break a brand. Her love life would be a constant source of public fascination. A whirlwind of high-profile romances and dramatic breakups, all playing out for her followers to see. She'd be the queen of the Met Gala, and her every outfit would be analyzed and copied around the world. Her husband, the often overlooked Hephaestus, god of the forge, he'd be a genius inventor and engineer, the head of a cutting-edge robotics and AI company, probably hidden away in a high-tech workshop. While Aphrodite is in the spotlight, he's the one designing the technology that runs the modern world, including the very smartphone she uses to post her selfies. He'd be the brilliant, introverted mind behind self-driving cars, advanced prosthetics, and maybe even the weapons his brother Ares uses. He'd be socially awkward but respected for his unparalleled creations, a true master of his craft who prefers the company of machines to people. What about the twins, Apollo and Artemis? Apollo, the god of music, poetry, and prophecy, would be a rock star. A multi-talented musician who can sell out stadiums worldwide. He'd be a charismatic performer, a poet, and maybe even a bit of a healer, dabbling in wellness and mindfulness with his own celebrity-endorsed meditation app. He'd also have an uncanny ability to predict the next big thing in music and culture, making him a powerful tastemaker. His twin sister Artemis would be a fierce advocate for wilderness conservation and animal rights. She'd be a park ranger in a vast national park or an investigative journalist exposing illegal poaching rings. She would live off-grid, completely self-sufficient, and would be a master archer, though now she'd probably be winning Olympic gold medals. She'd run a massive animal sanctuary and be fiercely independent, wanting nothing to do with the drama and politics of her Olympian relatives. She and her brother Poseidon would probably team up on environmental campaigns. And let's not forget Hermes, the messenger god. In our hyper-connected world, he'd be the king of logistics. Think of him as the CEO of a company like Amazon or FedEx, but on a divine scale. Hermes Express would offer instantaneous delivery. He'd also be the god of the internet, the master of communication, and a notorious trickster and hacker. He'd be able to get any information, bypass any firewall, and would probably be on the FBI's most wanted list if they could ever prove anything. He'd be witty, fast-talking, and always on the move, with winged sneakers from a sponsorship deal with Nike. Finally, Demeter, goddess of the harvest. She'd be the head of a global organic food empire, a champion of sustainable agriculture, or perhaps a powerful and uncompromising leader of the agricultural lobby in Washington, D.C., controlling the world's food supply. Her moods would dictate crop yields. A happy Demeter means a bountiful harvest, but an angry one could cause a global famine. She'd be constantly worried about her daughter Persephone, who spends half the year with the mysterious tech billionaire Hades, a modern take on her time in the underworld that probably involves a complicated custody arrangement. So there you have it, the Greek gods reimagined for the 21st century. They're no longer mythical figures in old books. They're the billionaires, celebrities, scientists, and activists who shape our world. Their ancient dramas of love, jealousy, and power would play out on a global stage, amplified by social media and the 24-hour news cycle. It's a terrifying, hilarious, and fascinating thought, isn't it? The world would be a much more chaotic place, but you have to admit, it would be a lot more interesting. What do you think? Which modern-day god would you follow? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into a modern Olympus, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. Thanks for watching.